What if one simple change in your daily coffee routine could help control your blood sugar naturally? Before you take your next sip, there is something important you need to know, something that could genuinely change your health. We are not talking about any miracle formula, and we are not selling anything. We are talking about coffee, the drink that is in your kitchen right now. And one detail that changes everything, the way and the timing in which you drink that cup. At Health is Golden, we closely follow the latest research on practical, everyday strategies for managing blood sugar, especially for people over 60. And what we are going to share with you today has genuinely changed lives. We are facing a silent crisis. Diabetes cases have increased by 135% in less than 2 decades. Today, nearly 20 million people have the disease across various countries, and the prevalence reaches an astonishing 30% among seniors over 65. 1 in every 3. It is far more than most people imagine. And what concerns us most is not just those who already have the diagnosis, it is the huge group of people who are right on the edge with high glucose levels, with that unexplained fatigue after lunch, with that constant thirst that does not go away, and who have not yet been diagnosed or who have but do not know what to do beyond taking medication and waiting. Stay with us until the end of this video because we are going to show you how a small adjustment, one that costs absolutely nothing, can make a huge difference in controlling your glucose. But first, we need to tell you something that most people do not know about coffee. If you are new here, welcome to Health is Golden, where we bring you practical, science-backed health information that can genuinely change your daily life. Hit subscribe and turn on the bell notification right now so you never miss a video. And if you have a family member dealing with high blood sugar or diabetes, please share this video with them before we are done. It could make a real difference. Now let us get into this, how blood sugar and coffee are connected. Imagine your pancreas as a small factory that produces insulin, the hormone responsible for opening the doors of your cells so that glucose can enter and be turned into energy. When you eat, glucose enters your bloodstream. The factory goes into action, produces insulin, and the glucose is absorbed by the cells. Everything works fine. The problem begins when this factory becomes overloaded. When you eat a lot of foods that spike your blood sugar quickly, the pancreas has to work at its limit. Over time, your cells become less sensitive to insulin. The pancreas has to produce more and more to achieve the same effect. And that is when insulin resistance sets in, the gateway to type 2 diabetes. Now, what does coffee have to do with all of this? Coffee is an extraordinary drink from a biochemical point of view. It contains hundreds of bioactive compounds, but 2 of them stand out to science: chlorogenic acid and trigonelline. Think of them as traffic controllers in your intestines. When you drink coffee before eating, these compounds make the absorption of sugar from food slower and more controlled. Yes, instead of a surge of glucose entering your bloodstream all at once, you get a smooth, steady flow that your pancreas can manage without stress. A study published in Diabetes Care, conducted by researchers from the Harvard School of Public Health, analyzed data from more than 1 million people and reached a conclusion that is genuinely impressive. Regular coffee consumption is associated with a significant reduction in the risk of developing type 2 diabetes. And it is not a small effect. The risk decreases in a dose-dependent way. The more cups per day, within a reasonable limit, the lower the risk. Then in 2018, researchers from the Karolinska Institute in Sweden, one of the most respected medical institutions in the world, reviewed 30 different studies covering nearly 1.2 million participants and confirmed that coffee consumption, both regular and decaffeinated, is associated with approximately a 30% reduction in the risk of developing type 2 diabetes. But here's the point that almost no one talks about. These benefits depend entirely on how you drink your coffee, because the wrong coffee at the wrong time, in the wrong way, can work directly against you. 3 classic mistakes. And a real story. Consider this patient story that illustrates exactly what we mean. A 72-year-old retired man, let us call him Arnaldo, had been drinking coffee since he was 17 and was proud of it. But when he came in for evaluation, his fasting glucose was 138 and his HbA1c, which reflects average blood sugar over the last 3 months, was 7.1%. Above the desired level. He said, "I do everything right. I drink coffee every day. I walk 3 times a week." When asked to walk through his coffee routine in detail, the problems became clear immediately. Every morning, as soon as he woke up, Before eating anything, he would drink a large cup of strong black coffee. Then he would have another one at 3 p.m. with a sweet biscuit, and sometimes a third before bed because he thought it helped him relax. 3 classic mistakes. Here is each one explained. Mistake number 1, drinking coffee on an empty stomach, right after waking up. This is the most common one and the one that causes the most harm. When you wake up after a whole night of fasting, your body already has elevated cortisol levels, the stress hormone your adrenal glands produce when you are in an urgent situation. Cortisol already signals your liver to release glucose into the bloodstream so you have energy to start the day. That is a normal survival mechanism. The problem is that caffeine amplifies this effect. It further stimulates the adrenal glands, releases more adrenaline, and the liver responds by releasing even more glucose into the blood. And you have not eaten anything yet. The result? You have not taken a single bite of food and your glucose has already risen between 20 and 40 milligrams per deciliter. A study published in the British Journal of Nutrition confirmed this effect. Drinking black coffee on an empty stomach after a night of sleep can significantly increase blood glucose levels in the morning. Did you know coffee on an empty stomach could raise your blood sugar before you even eat? Drop a comment below. Just type yes or no. We read every single comment on this channel and we genuinely want to hear from you. Mistake number 2. Coffee with sugar, artificial sweetener, or cream. It may seem harmless. It is not. A spoonful of sugar in coffee causes an immediate spike in glucose and cancels out the benefits of the chlorogenic acid you just consumed. It is like starting a fire and pouring gasoline on it at the same time. And artificial sweeteners? Many people think they are the perfect solution. But recent research, including a study published in the journal Nutrition in 2021, suggests that artificial sweeteners like aspartame and sucralose can alter the gut microbiota in ways that harm long-term blood sugar control. The gut microbiota is the community of bacteria in your intestines that plays a key role in glucose metabolism. And there is an important piece of data published in the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition by the Harvard School of Public Health, analyzing 3 large American cohorts. Coffee without any additives was associated with a 10% reduction in diabetes risk for each additional cup per day. However, when coffee was consumed with sugar, this protective effect decreased significantly. The practical translation is simple. Remove sugar from your coffee. It sounds simple, but it is powerful. Mistake number 3, drinking coffee in the late afternoon or at night. Caffeine has a half-life of 5 to 6 hours in the body. This means that if you drink coffee at 3 p.m., half of that caffeine is still circulating in your body at 8 p.m. It keeps cortisol levels elevated, it interferes with deep sleep, and it is during quality sleep that the body regulates a significant portion of glucose metabolism. Poor sleep equals uncontrolled glucose. It is a vicious cycle that most people never connect to their coffee habits. When Arnaldo adjusted his coffee routine based on these 3 mistakes, the results were striking. In 8 weeks, his fasting glucose dropped from 138 to 112. His HbA1c went from 7.1% to 6.6% without changing his medication, without a radical diet, without going to the gym. Just by adjusting his coffee habits. If this information is already changing the way you think about your morning coffee, hit the like button right now. It genuinely helps this video reach more people who need it. And tell us in the comments. How do you currently drink your coffee? Black, with sugar, with milk? We would love to know where you are starting from. Now, let us get into exactly how you should be drinking coffee to maximize every benefit that science has already proven. The right coffee at the right time. First golden moment with breakfast, but not the very first thing in the morning. When you wake up, first drink a glass of water. Wait between 30 and 60 minutes. Eat something that contains protein, that is scrambled eggs, a piece of cheese, plain unsweetened yogurt, any quality source of protein. I only then drink your coffee, and drink it plain to no sugar, no sweetener. Why protein first? Because protein buffers the impact of caffeine on cortisol. It provides amino acids that the liver uses more efficiently, and this prevents that cortisol spike that unnecessarily releases glucose into the bloodstream before you have even finished breakfast. Research published in the Journal of Clinical Endocrinology showed that consuming protein before carbohydrates and caffeine reduces the post-meal glucose spike meaningfully. And if you want to enhance it even further, add half a teaspoon of cinnamon powder to your coffee. Cinnamon contains compounds that partially mimic the action of insulin, helping cells absorb glucose. A review published in the journal Nutrients showed that regular cinnamon consumption may contribute to a modest but real reduction in fasting glucose levels. It is not medicine, but it is a genuine ally. Second moment, coffee before lunch. This is a strategy that few people know about. About 20 to 30 minutes before your main meal, drink a small cup of plain black coffee without sugar. The chlorogenic acid in coffee will act like that traffic controller we mentioned earlier, slowing down the absorption of sugar from the foods you are about to eat. This reduces the post-meal glucose spike, which is one of the main triggers for the progression toward type 2 diabetes. A study conducted by researchers at Brigham and Women's Hospital, affiliated with Harvard Medical School, and published in Diabetes Care, showed that coffee components, especially chlorogenic acid and trigonelline, significantly reduce glucose and insulin concentrations in the first 15 minutes after consuming carbohydrates compared to a placebo. This effect is real, measurable, and you can take advantage of it without spending a single extra dollar. Third moment, after physical exercise. Do you walk or do any physical activity? Then pay close attention. Within 30 minutes after finishing your walk or any exercise, drink a cup of plain coffee. When your muscles have just been active, they become far more receptive to glucose. They act like a sponge, absorbing sugar from the blood to use as energy. Caffeine at this moment enhances this effect, helping muscles absorb glucose even more efficiently. It is a metabolic window of opportunity that most people miss entirely. As for total daily amount, most medical guidelines consider up to 4 or 5 small cups of coffee per day to be safe for most adults. The Karolinska Institute review of 30 studies found that this amount falls within the range of protective benefits against diabetes. But each person is different. If you feel palpitations, anxiety, tremors, or insomnia from coffee, your caffeine metabolism may be slower, which is genetically determined. In that case, reduce to 2 cups per day or choose a quality decaffeinated option which also contains chlorogenic acid and retains many of the same benefits. A second patient story. Consider another patient, a 68-year-old retired teacher. Let us call her Donnelly. She came in with type 2 diabetes, diagnosed 3 years earlier, using metformin, with glucose still difficult to control. She followed everything correctly, took her medication, reduced carbohydrates, but her HbA1c stubbornly stayed above 7.5%. When reviewing her routine, the pattern became clear: sweetened coffee with milk in the morning, coffee with sweet biscuits in the afternoon, and practically no movement because her legs felt heavy. Together, a simple plan was created. In the morning, wait 45 minutes after waking, eat a boiled egg, then have plain coffee with cinnamon. Before lunch, a small cup of black coffee 20 minutes before eating. 3 afternoons a week, a 25-minute walk followed by a coffee immediately after. The sweetened afternoon coffee and biscuits were eliminated. 6 weeks later, she returned with the results that tell the whole story. Her HbA1c had dropped from 7.5% to 6.8%. Her fasting glucose was 109. She said, "I woke up with energy for the first time in years. The medication did not change. The relationship with coffee did." Right now, think of one person in your life, a parent, a sibling, a close friend who is dealing with high blood sugar or diabetes. Share this video with them right now before you forget. The share button is right there. Use it. Quality information based on science is one of the greatest gifts you can give to someone you love. Now, let us talk about the invisible enemies that destroy all the benefits we have just described. The invisible enemies of coffee's benefits. Enemy number 1, sugar of any kind. Refined, brown, demerara, honey. Anything sweet added to coffee creates an immediate glucose spike that cancels the protective effect of chlorogenic acid. The Harvard research made this very clear. Coffee with sugar has significantly reduced protection against diabetes. Enemy number 2, artificial sweeteners. There is growing evidence that aspartame and sucralose disrupt the balance of the gut microbiota, which is essential for healthy glucose metabolism. If you need to sweeten your coffee, try natural stevia, which so far has not shown the same negative effects in available research. Enemy number 3, industrialized instant coffee, the kind that comes in sachets. These products often contain hidden sugar, hydrogenated fats, and additives that compromise nutritional quality. Prioritize natural ground coffee, 100% Arabica, freshly brewed. Enemy number 4, coffee paired with ultra-processed foods, white bread, filled cookies, industrial cakes. When you combine coffee with these foods, the glucose spike from refined carbohydrates is so high that no amount of chlorogenic acid can compensate for it. The protection triad coffee works even better when it is part of a broader context of healthy habits. Think of it as a protection triad, 3 elements that work together and multiply each other's effects. First element, smart coffee, the way we have taught you today. At the right time, without sugar, maximizing the benefits of chlorogenic acid. Second element, sacui movement. You do not need a gym. 30 minutes of moderate paced walking, 3 to 5 times a week, is enough to dramatically improve insulin sensitivity. Moving muscles act like drains, pulling glucose out of the blood independently of insulin. This has been confirmed by study after study. Okay, third element, adequate protein intake. Protein is the macronutrient that has the least impact on glucose, promotes satiety, and protects muscle mass, which is the body's largest consumer of glucose. After the age of 60, protein needs actually increase because the body becomes less efficient at using it. Eggs, chicken, fish, beans, cheese, plain yogurt include a source of protein in each main meal. When these 3 elements work together, the effects multiply. Coffee improves insulin sensitivity. Exercise increases glucose uptake by muscles. Protein stabilizes post-meal glucose spikes. It is a powerful combination that costs nothing and requires no special product. One important and honest note. Everything described here consists of complementary lifestyle strategies based on solid scientific evidence. They can help significantly, but they do not replace medical evaluation and follow-up. If you already have diagnosed diabetes and use medication, never change your dosage or stop taking it on your own. Take this information to your doctor. Discuss it together. Make adjustments with professional guidance. We want to leave you with a thought that has been at the heart of this channel from the very beginning. Your body is not your enemy. Your body is constantly trying to balance itself, heal, and adapt. When glucose rises, when fatigue does not go away, when your legs swell, these are signals. They are your body asking for help. And often, what it is asking for is not a new pill. Sometimes it is a small change, like the time you drink a cup of coffee. Health does not live in the pharmacy, it lives in daily habits. Okay, in the small choices you make every single day. Here's what we need you to do right now. 3 things. 1. Hit the like button right now. It costs you nothing and it genuinely helps this information reach more people who need it. Every like makes a real difference in who sees this video. 2. Subscribe to Health is Golden and turn on the notification bell if you have not already. We release new videos every week on practical, evidence-based health strategies that can make a real difference in your daily life. Next time, we will be covering the 5 foods that people with prediabetes need to eliminate from their diet as soon as possible. Because these foods silently inflame glucose levels and most people have absolutely no idea. You do not want to miss it. 3. Share this video with someone you love who is dealing with blood sugar challenges. A parent, a sibling, a friend. You might be giving them something that changes everything. This is Health is Golden. Take good care of yourself and take good care of those you love. Your health is shaped by the small choices you make every single day, so make them count.